Watch the empires disappear, turn to dust in atmosphere. Centuries inside my veins, nothing left that still remains. Velvet nights repeat the same, every face a different name. Time has dulled what once would burn, still I ache for its return. Underneath this endless calm, something stirs, something wrong. I lure into decay, but I'm not done this way. I need the fire back again, something real to crave. I lure into decay, fading into gray. Touch the spark inside my veins, make me feel the flame. Live too long, still pretend. Every thrill comes to an end. Silk and shadows, empty air. No one left who truly dares. Heart beats slow, but still I wait. Balanced on the edge of fate. If you think you can hide, step into my night. Break the silence if you can. Wake the ghost. Lure to decay, but pull me back to flame. Drag a hunger from the deep. Say you know my name. Lure to decay, don't let me fade away. Give me something soft and true, I can feel again. So still, centuries standing still. Spark, one sin, let the fire begin. More ashes, more gray, bring the light.
Oh, guys,
Lure to decay.
All right, what's up, guys? What is up? What is up? So, we will have I have a few videos to react to. So, you know, that's yeah, I have a few videos that I want to react to. Yeah. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah. All right. I have a few videos that I want to react to. Don't know how long the stream will go. We'll see about it. We'll see how it goes. Um, let's react to some videos. It will be some politically charged videos, right? So, hopefully you guys like it. Tonight will be a politically charged video. Like I said in the title, right? Now I'm going to preference this. It could be my FYP. Your FYP may be different than mine, so I will preference that. Maybe it's the algorithm. I'll give you credit for that. But in my honest opinion, just to have it out there in the ether, it's a problem, right? So I believe that the left, the Democrat, the liberal party group, whatever, is filled with the mentally ill. It's either they're filled with the mentally ill or they support the mentally ill. And this is a thing where, to be honest, I don't think they deserve your support. Now, as far as it goes to, you know what? They need to get some mental health. Okay. But other than that, you shouldn't support their insanities. You shouldn't support their delusion. Red Door, what is up, my sister? What is up? Thank you for being here. Yeah, we shouldn't be supporting the mentally ill, right? We shouldn't support their delusions, right? Their delusions, insanities, and they're just bad habits, right? We shouldn't be supporting that. So I have some few videos that it gives me the basis of my argument, right? Give me the basis of my ideology. So, let's check them out.
Oh, guys, it looks like another criminal is about to get away with murder. The man who murdered Irina Zarutska on the Charlotte Light Rail, DeCarlos Brown Jr., has been ruled incapable to proceed on the murder charge. According to the Charlotte Observer, Brown, a 35-year-old homeless man who previously told police he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, faces both state and federal murder charges in the August light rail stabbing of 23-year-old Zarutska. The results of his capacity evaluation were revealed in a motion his state public defender filed in a Mecklenburg Superior Court on Tuesday. In the motion, attorney Daniel Roberts asked a judge to again delay Brown's Rule 24 hearing, in which prosecutors would have said whether they plan to see.
Hey, what's up? What's up, antics? The YT's YouTube, right? I couldn't get the full name. I guess someone had it already, right? So I couldn't get the full name. I mean, just the name itself. So I had to put YT, right? So it's just YouTube. Yeah.
The death penalty in this case. And a U.S. magistrate judge previously ordered a second federal psychiatric exam for Brown's federal case. So all in all, they're essentially trying to overthrow the case, at least when it comes to the death penalty, on the grounds of insanity, simply because he has previously been diagnosed with schizophrenia. What do you guys think about this? Because me, myself, and I do not care if he's schizophrenic. I do not care if he is insane. We all watched as he brutally murdered and stabbed and sliced the neck of the 23-year-old immigrant. And in my opinion, not only do I think that he should be tried for life sentence, but also the death penalty should absolutely be put on the table, as there is only one way to guarantee that it will never happen again. Oh, guys, it looks like another.
It's all good, my brother. I love the back and forth, right? I love the back and forth we have. So here's my thing, okay? I guess, right? The mentally ill, okay, a bit of sympathy, okay? They need some, mental health, okay. But the ones that are dangerous, right? I mean, to be honest, we don't really need the mentally ill in our society, but we shouldn't just start killing people. But here's the thing. The ones that are dangerous, I'm sorry. There's no need for them in society. I'm just, they are a drain on society. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying that, oh, we should just start deleting the mentally ill, or I don't know, the people that are, disabled or whatever, right? I'm not saying that. But there comes to a point where the ones that are actually dangerous, i.e., this man, yeah, we should be deleting them. I'm sorry. I want to be, because we should be deleting these people, right? The dangerous mentally ill people. We should be deleting the pedos, right? We should be deleting the 100% proven murderers. We should be deleting them. I'm sorry. They don't need to be walking their earth. They do not need to be a burden on taxpayers. I don't want this man to have a lifelong princess sentence. So he's pretty much, we are paying for him to stay alive. No. I don't, no. Again, we're overcrowded. Our prison system is overcrowded. Okay? So no, we should be letting them go. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. So that's my view. This man is, because here's the thing. This man had many charges, many past convictions, a large rap sheet. And yet none of the Democrats, none of the liberals decided to put him in a lifelong, I don't know, mental institution, right? A mental asylum. None of them decided. Now that he has killed somebody, oh, now you what? Now you want to house him, all that shit? No. You didn't care about him before, right? You constantly let him go. You constantly let him go. You constantly let him off. You didn't care about his mental health before. Because if you did, this man would not be on the streets. He would be in a mental asylum, right? Schizophrenia or whatever. Because obviously he's a dangerous man. And you didn't care for him before. Right? You didn't care about it before, but now you do. No. He should be deleted. He should be deleted. So I'm sorry. I believe that people who have been proven to be murderers, people have been proven to be to do SA or heinous things towards children, should be deleted. Right? We do not need to house these people for the rest of their life. No, we don't.
Story of the day, as you'll recall, there's a lot of blue cities that did the whole defund police, and they thought that these criminals were just misunderstood. The illegal aliens, the black criminals, the Hispanic criminals, they're just misunderstood. We need mental health. So they had social workers go in and talk to these violent criminals. Well, one of those social workers in Boston, because they have a very woke, very stupid mayor, went out to talk to this criminal that had a sword. And this social worker used mental health and equity and compassion and empathy and got stabbed. And then the police had to shoot the criminal that was waving the sword. See, this is another example of idiot empathy or suicidal empathy. The problem is this is what they're teaching your children in schools under the guise of social emotional learning and restorative justice. So parents, this is why it's so important to reject inclusion and embrace exclusion and protect your kids, because this is the kind of stupidity they're teaching your kids in public schools.
Here's my thing, right? I definitely think it's stupid, right? There's a lot of talk that, the police can't handle the mentally ill. But here's the thing. The police aren't handling the mentally ill in a certain aspect. They're handling the dangerous people, right? Even though they're mentally ill. It's not that they're just mentally ill and you call the police to handle the mentally ill. No, you call the police because this mentally ill person could be dangerous, right? Could be dangerous to others or dangerous to themselves. It's not just because they're mentally ill. No, it's because they're dangerous. That's why you call the police, because you sense a potential danger, right? This person who's mentally ill, they pose a danger. So you send in police. That's it. If these people were just mentally ill, well, on their off times or whatever, their families or whoever would be putting these people in mental asylum or getting them therapy. That's average, normal, mentally ill people, okay? But no, you get to a point where you're wielding a sword, you're not just mentally ill, you are dangerous. That's the thing where a lot of people don't realize that cops, I'm not saying all the cases, right? but there are probably some cases where it's innocent mentally ill and you call the cops, or I don't know. I correct me if I'm wrong. I think when you call 911, maybe you mean to, I don't know, call some kind of other emergency people. But to be honest, people gotta understand, when you call 911, you either trying to get a police station, fire station, or the ambulance. So I don't know which three of those people. If you want to help the harmless mentally ill, I mean, you should probably call a psychiatrist or a therapist or a mental asylum, right? If we I don't think we even have that anymore, right? Which is, I think that's a problem in itself, right? Make mental asylums great again, bring them back, because we have a lot of mentally ill people. And this is the thing where, again, if they cared about, right, mental health, maybe, right, since you are a liberal mayor, a Democrat mayor, why not make it absolutely free, right? Make it free, so whoever was taking care of this deranged man could have put him into, a mental asylum or get free therapy or whatever. But I think having a mental health clinician to do a ride along to a dangerous person is not a good thing. It's not a good idea.
Recognize, honor, love, and celebrate anyone here who would claim their identity publicly as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, pansexual, asexual, or any category that I've left out. This is Phoenix. Oh, so you're a little shy. Did you want to tell me if you're a boy or a girl? I just want to tell them I'm a girl. Okay, you can tell them that. Phoenix would like you to know that she's a girl and she prefers she and her pronouns. May you be well, safe, and whole. We honor you exactly as you are.
It was obviously stemmed by his mom. No child thinks that they are a different gender unless an adult puts it into their mind. It seems like she had all boys because if you look next to him, it said that it was his sister when it looked like it was his brother. And she probably wanted a girl. I'm a boy mom. I love my boys. I wouldn't trade them for the world. So I'm just not understanding why parents would do this to their children. If their child, when they become an adult, 18, and they want to transition, go ahead, support them. But don't be doing this to your child because you're the one that put it into their mind. Children only care about playing with toys and playing with their friends. Why can't we just let kids be kids? Why is our society so fixated on gender?
Controversial opinion. No, I wouldn't support my kid transition even if they turn 18. Do your thing, right? But again, that's your thing. You didn't care about my opinion or views before you did it. Do your shit, right? I wouldn't support that insanity. I don't support your delusion, your poor mental health. I would say you need some psychiatric help, right? That's my support. But to my brother, what is up? To support this absolute delusion, and this is the thing where I find why I talk about it, okay? Because a lot of these liberal Democrats, leftists, are parents. They are poisoning the next generation. I'm going to show you a video soon, right? That I believe that a lot of these kids have liberal parents feeding into their delusion or creating said delusion, right? So would you be I don't know, changing your child's oil if he believes he's a transformer, right? Believes he's an actual car? Would you be changing his oil, right? If he believes he's a dinosaur, would you start what? I mean, like, what would you do? It's like when I was young, I believe I was a ninja. It's like I believe I was a ninja, doing cartwheels and, fighting other bad ninjas or whatever, right? It's not like all of a sudden, like, um, that's the thing where we forget what imagination means, right? We forgot what imagination means. These are kids. They can't even decide, okay? They can't even decide what they want to eat. They can't even decide what they want to eat. You think that they can decide what their gender is? My child can do what they want when they turn 21. I mean, this is the thing where I said this, right? I'm not going to force my child to do what I want. But to say that I would support their delusions, no, I wouldn't. All right. I'm sorry. I don't think that's my personality. I don't think I would support their delusions, right? I don't think I would be supportive in their insanities. Real Rain, what is up, my brother? What is up? Movies led me to believe ninjas would be more of a threat in adulthood. Bro, it was a great time, right? It was a great time. Imagination. That's the thing where this is the problem with a lot of these adults. They don't understand. Kids have imagination. So things like this is why I say what I'm saying. The dangers, right? The dangers of liberal parents, of Democrat parents, of leftist parents. Okay, the path you're taking your kid is a dangerous one because one, possible bullying, possible dysphoria. Okay, it's no difference than saying your kid is so fat that they probably need to go be anorexic, shit like that. Okay, that is a dangerous path. It's a dangerous path. Exactly. Children aren't concerned or have any concept of gender. They don't. Hell, they don't have concept of race. Okay, they don't really understand that stuff. But we shouldn't be feeding these kids our own personal biased views of it, right? And a lot of these people are, right? Particularly when it's not the norm. Okay, particularly when it's not the norm, you are setting your kid up for disaster. Okay, I'm sorry. We live in a society of majority, okay? We live in a society that has a concept of normal. Particularly when you're not the norm and you're trying to go far off the beaten path, yeah, you're setting up your kid for disaster. To be fair, some adults never grew up either. I understand that, right? I definitely understand that. My problem is if you love things about your childhood, okay. But when you are, as stupid as a child, yeah, you didn't even mature in the brain, right? I mean, you can love geeky shit, you can love, whatever, right? But when you don't have the mindset, the maturity mindset or the logical mindset, yeah, your brain didn't grow along with your body.
No King's Day.
No freaking king.
No kings in the USA.
No King's Day. Woo!
No King's Day.
What are we gonna do to the king?
Gonna shut him down.
How are we gonna shut him down?
Impeachment.
If there's impeachment, that means there's a Congress and Donald Trump can't be a king.
Right.
Right. Why Trump?
Because he smells funny.
For real?
Is that a question?
Because he has repeatedly overused his he's trying to abuse this world and try to make this place all about him. Why are you asking me this? You know the answer.
What's the answer?
You know it. You know the answer.
So many people showed up.
Imagine if they showed up like this for Kamala.
This is my thing, right? I was kind of not debating really, but I was having a conversation, online conversation with a friend. Okay, he was saying that Trump is like a dictator. I was like, Trump is a dictator. Trump is what stuff, right? Trump is. I said, okay, and I try to talk to people respectfully, and I try not to push any of my ideologies onto other people, right? I try not to do that. But what I do try is to get to understand their ideology, okay? Because I'd rather use their ideology, dissect it, and maybe debunk it, okay? While what he do, right? What he did is say, okay, I said, okay, why is he a dictator? Why do you feel all of this? Why do you feel all of this? So what people on the left do, what Democrats do, what liberals do is like, oh, you know it. You can here's the thing. I could figure it out. But is if I go on the path of figuring it out myself, I may reach a different conclusion than you. And that's not what I wanted, right? That's not the type of conversation I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to figure out why you think the way you do, right? That's the that's the issue, okay? I'm not trying to understand, I'm not trying to build necessarily my own opinion on it. No, I'm trying to see what you believe. That's the thing. And that is the problem I find with a lot of liberals, Democrats, and the left, is that they say, no, you do it. You figure it out. You look at you do the research. What research? I just want to know why you have the opinions you have. And that's the problem that we're having in current society. They don't actually have much of an opinion, okay? They share the same opinion. Right? So what they see online from any of their big social media influencers, right? If Hassan or Dean or Harry or whatever liberal idol you follow, if they find that person and hear that person say certain things, they're gonna, Trump is a dictator. Yeah, I agree. Trump is a dictator. Trump is a fascist. Trump is, he's abusing his power. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes, that's what I'm going to say. That's what I believe. That's correct. Literally, no proof of anything, right? No proof of anything, but you will believe that. You will say that, yeah, that's it. Okay. This is why I've had like little debates with Alan before, and I said, prove to me, right? I mean, like, he constantly says that, you know what, I won't change my mind, but that's ridiculous, right? Because I go about things where I will figure out I will see the logic in it, or hopefully see the logic in it. I try my best. I'm not perfect at it, to be as open-minded as possible, to not be so closed-minded, not to be like, oh, you know what, this person said this, I'm going to 100% go with what this person says. No, right? I don't really believe it. Now, if it sounds logical to me, I see the logic in it. I like to believe that I'm more logical than emotional. So I'm not blinded. I'm not going to be a sheep. I'm not going to be a cult member of any kind of ideology or party. Okay. That's how I see it.
People showed up for Kamala.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go?
What is one action that Donald Trump took that is impossible to do under the Constitution, but he did it anyway?
I can't name specific laws. I'm sorry.
But then, how can you? This is the thing where, it's like you got to think that everything that Trump has done, right? Everything that Trump has done, any president or all other presidents has either done or have the ability to do, right? All the things that Trump has done, every president has either done it, or they have the ability to do it. So how can Trump be a dictator, a fascist, whatever, authoritarian, when it's built in with his powers, right? With his presidential powers. Okay. That's why I find it's really ridiculous. I mean, like, he's abusing his power. No, he's not abusing his power. It's already his power. He was able to do it. Okay. I believe abuse of power is doing something overreaching, doing something beyond, right? Beyond your capabilities, right? Beyond the scope of your powers, right? You're going beyond it. Okay. So
I lost a lot of thought on that.
You're a reporter. So why don't you do your homework? Don't ask me.
Went to war. Legally, he could.
Can? Oh, putting ice in our cities.
Legally, he could put ice in cities.
I don't really give
easy.
about
legally rename the Kennedy Center.
Which amendment under the Constitution?
You're hating, your basis for hating Trump is he renamed something. I mean, we had some people, like a lot of people, right, when he named the Gulf of America. Okay, so what? I mean, it's like, who cares? I mean, it's like there's another debate, right? I don't know if you've seen it online that a lot of people in Africa, or just political people, right, in Africa, are saying they want to redo our world map, because technically Africa is bigger than what the world map shows, right? Because pretty much any continent could fit into Africa, but if you look at the world map, Africa looks small or not as big as it actually is. And okay, it's great that I didn't know that, right? That's great. But let's be honest, nobody cared before, right? Nobody knew about it, nobody cared about it before, right? No one's like, I wonder, right? Is it this size actually? No one really cared, right? And when I saw some people like, supporting it or wanting it to change, I mean, if it changed, great. But to be honest, even if it changed, it wouldn't affect or change anyone's life, nor would anyone even think about it again. Okay? So.
Is he prohibited to renaming the Kennedy Center?
I refer you to the New York Times 2 days ago. They had a list of 30 items.
And you read it?
I read it, absolutely.
So what is one thing from that list?
One thing from that list is I'm blanking.
I did not fully read it. I've got it. I've read excerpts.
He's trying to.
So you said you fully read it, yet you're blanking on it. So you didn't really read it. This is also a problem with the left, with Democrats, with liberals. They say things they don't really know. They say things they don't really understand. They say things that have really no basis to it. I just feel it, right? I just feel it. And that's the problem I have. I think that's the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems I have with the left. A lot of things they say is just based on feelings, right? It's not really based on logic. You have no real basis, right? No real logical basis for your opinions. You have no real logical, and there are some smart ones, right? There's some smart people on the left, but I believe the majority, right? The majority, that's just my opinion, the majority of people on the left have no logical basis for their opinions. They just hear other people regurgitate it and they do the same. That is it.
But again,
If he's trying to run again, why did he leave office the first time?
because he got voted out.
So why won't he leave office now when he's term limited?
Because he's a fascist. That's why.
What has he done to prove to you that he's a fascist? The only thing he's done is that you believe he won't leave office. But he has not done that, yet you still believe it already. Right? The lack of logic there. He hasn't done that, yet you believe he will do that. Right? But because he has said certain things, but here's the thing. If you seems like you don't know Trump, Trump says a lot of shit. Right? He says a lot of shit. He's very hyperbolic. So, yeah, he may say things, but it doesn't mean it's 100% true. Stop thinking like that. That's the problem I find. That's the problem I find with a lot of people. You read too much into the man. Right? I find it weird that these people never cared about politicians before. They never cared about politicians before, but now they hung on every word Trump says because they hate Trump, right? Because they hate him, they will hang on every word he says so they can pick at it. But to be honest, I said this to a person, right? I said this to someone that, to be honest, I didn't care for Trump his first term because, yes, that personality, right? That he's very hyperbolic. He says a lot of shit. He says a lot of shit, and a lot of it is not true, or a lot of it is just overblown. But second term, I got his personality, right? I knew what type of person he is. So for me, I care more about his actions than the words he says, right? I care more about his actions than his words. I know that he will say a lot of shit, right? So I'm not going to be hung up on necessarily the words he says. I'm more hung up on the actions he will take. That's my point of view.
Did you not hear what I said when he left out first? Fascist.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about. That's okay. You can just say.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, a dictator will say definitely. Oh, yeah. Everyone who's like under me can just call me fascist. Yeah. Right? Such a dictator. Such a dictator allowing people to insult him to his face. Right? Such a dictator. Right? It's like absolutely ridiculous.
What's going to happen in the midterms?
This is what's going to happen in the
Wait,
midterm.
but I thought Donald Trump was a king, so there wouldn't be any elections.
Don't be so cavalier about that. I'm thinking this is a joke. It's not. This is
serious.
you. I don't think you know how serious it is.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
If he was acting like a
That's politicians are like women. Don't judge what they say. Judge what they do. I agree. Right? I agree. Because politicians, they lie. Politicians say a whole lot of shit. I care about actions. Right? That's what I care about. Don't say a lot of shit because you're trying to go after my emotions, right? Which why it works when it comes to liberals and Democrats, right? And the left. When you say a lot of shit, right? I mean, like when you lie, women buy, right? Politicians know that shit. So yeah, I don't give a shit what you say because I know when it comes to politicians, they say a whole lot of crap. It means nothing, right? Your actions means more than your words. And again, it's like I find the whole. I really want to know who. I mean, I don't really want to know, but I mean, I wonder about who made the whole No Kings protest thing, because literally, the founding of America was based on not having a king. So it's already built, right, in our society. There is no king, right? There is no king. And it's funny that people who never experience what a king is like, right, is thinking that, oh, Trump is trying to be like a king. I wonder if that was created during Trump's term, right? It probably was, which is absolutely ridiculous.
He probably tried to jail his political opponent.
Of course he has.
Oh my God, wait. I think Joe Biden might be a king.
I love it. I love it when you try to wake up liberals.
Who do you want to win the U.S.-Iran war?
Honestly, I can't say who.
You don't want the United States to win?
Not with Trump. The U.S. is bombing Iran for no reason. I'm rooting for the United States to just stop.
So you're not rooting for the United States?
Correct.
Are you happy the Ayatollah is dead?
No. I'm not happy that anyone's dead.
You're not happy that a man that oppressed women, that oppress the alphabet community of their nation is dead. You're not happy about that. But in your own country, which you won't leave, you will call Trump a sexist, a homophobe, a racist. The man that's pretty much that, right? And a dictator at that, authoritarian at that. You don't wish he was dead, but you wish Trump is. I guarantee you, every single one of these people would wish Trump is. Yeah, that's the mental instability of the left. That is the mental instability of the left. They fight with innuendos and narrative control. Rational baz. I agree. Lies, deflect, obfuscate project, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. 100%. And you know what? This ideology we talk about that this is as women, right? This is women. And this is the problem, right? I believe the Democratic Party is led by women, right? Led by feminism. led by feminism, led by women. Okay. And this is why they become so mentally unstable, right? They become so mentally unstable. They're led by women. They're controlled by women, particularly white liberal women. I believe they're controlled by white liberal women. So they are extremely unstable. Exactly.
Trump took out the Ayatollah. He took out Maduro. He seems to be the king slayer. You got to give him credit.
How can you ask that question?
I don't know. I heard he loves strong men.
Do you love strong men?
Well, maybe George Clooney.
Yeah, I'd be shaken if I saw him.
And that's it, right? Trump has gotten rid of dictators that are pretty much kings of their own nations, right?
We are the families. Climate families. Do you know who I am?
Are you a king?
Here's Johnny.
All right.
I'm sorry. The more videos I see of the left, of liberals, of Democrats, I just can't help seeing their mental instability. Right. And again, I'll say this, right? I'm not saying that the right is perfect. Far from it, right? I've said this countless times before. When it comes to politics, it's like voting for the lesser of two evils, right? When it comes to politics, it feels like voting for the lesser of two evils. But in the last couple of years, last couple of decades, in my opinion, the right has always been the lesser of two evils. It just feels like that, in my opinion. Okay. The right feels like the lesser mentally ill, cousin, right? The lesser mentally ill person. So everything you say makes sense to us because we are open, honest, and good faith. They are not. Not even our family. Not even our family. If they have the same. Exactly. I've said this. I said this in videos where only the left. I've only seen it from the left, in my personal opinion. Right. I've only seen it from the left. They will disown you. They will leave you. They will break up with you. They will destroy relationships, destroy marriages, leave brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers. They will break up relationships if you have a difference of opinion, if you have a different ideology. They will break up strong relationships because of that. That shows you how narrow-minded you are. Shows you how intolerant you are, right? Shows you how actually intolerant you are. That just because someone has a difference of opinion on you, you don't want to ever see them again. When they're your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your fiance, it's like your friend of 10, 20 years.
That's not appropriate. We're not talking about mob actions. I didn't say that. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, respectfully. These large gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way. That's not appropriate. We're not talking.
I think Democratic leadership is weak. Right? One of the things that I'll say this up front, why I even like Trump is that at least Republican leadership, at least they have an image of strength. Shit, this is weak as shit. Kids, I saw videos of this. I don't know if you've seen videos of it, right, on social media, where kids are just running wild, right? Mobs of kids running wild in the streets of a lot of these blue cities.
What almost happened in the San Francisco school system is a wonderful example of how important it is to pay attention to your local politics. Because in that school system, they tried to pass a bill that not only would have made an 80% an A, but even crazier still, would have made 21% a passing grade. I'm not even so much worried about the 80% being an A. Because if you're passing, you're passing. I mean, it takes away the ability to separate the actual smart kids from the average and kind of dumb kids. But the 21%, that's fucking insane. That would be saying that you can pass and progress to the next grade, that you can graduate school having just a little more than 2 out of every 10 questions.
Yo, Rational Baz, what is up, my brother? Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Your voice matters. Never give up. They win. Speak the truth always. You matter, fellas. Exactly. Right? We need to keep our voice alive. We need to have a voice. This is why I love social media, right? There's plenty of dangers, plenty of drawback to social media, but this is why I do love social media, right? It's because we can have a voice, right? It's the best way to use your First Amendment, right? Best way to use your First Amendment. Have a voice, my brothers. Don't let the delusional people, the hypocrites, the mentally ill people win, right? Share your voice. And this is why I want to show off comments like these, right? All right, my brothers, keep on saying the things you're saying. And I'm going to keep on doing that, my thing too, because we need to speak out, right? At the very least, the least thing you could do is keep your voice loud.
Right. That's fucking crazy. Now, thankfully, the local citizens in San Francisco were like, hell no. But that was only because they were paying attention. And I think there's so many places in the United States where people aren't. And if they weren't paying attention, if they weren't keeping an eye on their local politicians and the bills they put forward, right now in San Francisco, there would be children moving to the next grade or graduating high school and going to college with a 21. Stop worrying so much about what's going on federally or what's going on in the world and pay attention to your local politics.
That's the thing where this is what I'm saying, right? The liberals, right? The liberals, the Democrats, the left, they care so much about, about racism, about sexism, about homophobia, about whatever, the minorities, the women, the children, all they supposedly care so much, yet they don't realize that giving a shit about the president doesn't do nothing for you, right? What makes more sense is caring about what's happening in your own state, in your own city, in your own district. That matters a whole lot more. That is more impactful on you than what the president does. Okay. To be honest, I don't know about you, but the president having a war in Iran, the gas prices might be high, but it's not that drastic of an impact, right? It's not that drastic of an impact on citizens' everyday life. It's not. Things like this matters a whole lot more, right? And this is why one of the things that I do like about what Trump did, right, is try to make government smaller, right? Get rid of the federal the Federal Education Board, whatever, is great. Keep it in the states. Leave it to the states. Same thing with abortions thing, right? Same thing with abortion rights. Leave it to the states to handle what goes on in their own states. And then you, as the people of said states, well, if women cared so much about, legalizing abortion, well, that it's your job, right, to, push it in your own state. Don't start crying to Trump about it. I agree. The real magical, yeah. Leftists hate, right, white single men. They definitely do. I mean, they've targeted those men, right? They've targeted white single men to try to destroy them.
California is about to make a 21% passing grade. You heard that correctly. Gavin Newsom's California is rolling out a new radical grading system in San Francisco public high schools that would allow students to pass with just a 21 out of 100 or a 2 out of 10. You got 2 questions right, you're good, you get the pass. And it's being done without parental approval, without a school board vote, and with almost zero public discussion. And they're calling it, get this, grading for equity. But it's not about equity at all. It's about lowering the bar until there's nothing to step over. This new policy eliminates homework, weekly tests, even penalties for skipping class or turning in homework assignments late. It allows for students to take their assessments, their exams and their quizzes, final exams, over and over until they score a passing grade. It's all about the final score, folks. And get this, an 80% is now considered an A. This isn't education, it's grade inflation on steroids. The district buried these details deep in a 25-page agenda and hoped nobody would notice. But now the parents are pissed, they're waking up, and well, they're quite furious over this. The question is, why is this happening? And it's not about helping students succeed. It's about manipulating the metrics to hide how broken the system truly is. It's about pushing. California is about.
Evil Eddie, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love, my brother. And this is exactly it, right? This is what I'm saying, where the left is dangerous. They are dangerous to our kids, right? I've been seeing videos like this, right? I've been seeing videos like this one. Right? Kids, why are the kids so, where are they going? Why are they all around the streets like this? Right? One, I definitely blame the parents, right? They definitely blame the parents. But seriously, why are these kids out like this? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, things like this is, we are failing our kids, right? We're not teaching our kids properly, yet we care about the gender of our kids. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We care so much about the gender of our kids, but we don't care about the education our kids receive. We don't care about the education level our kids have. We don't care how smart our kids are. We don't, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this is a thing where no one talks about it, but California and New York is only as wealthy because of the people they have, right? It's not because of necessarily the policies they have. It's not because they have a a democratic leader. It's because those cities were built with rich people, right? It's filled with rich people. That is why. So I guarantee you that the cities would be, those states would be a whole lot wealthier if it was run by a Republican today.
The highest poverty rate, tied with Louisiana, the highest unemployment, and as Nick Kristof of the New York Times recently wrote, Mississippi schools outperform California schools, especially for poor kids. Now, people see that or hear that or read that, and they're like, no thanks, California. No thanks, Gavin Newsom. We're good.
Yeah, well, the poverty rate is, you're talking about the supplemental poverty rate. Our poverty rate's about average.
Not really. California has the nation's highest poverty rate, tied with Louisiana. It's not about average. You have the highest, right? You're tied with a red state, right? You have the highest poverty rate. That's the disparity, right? That's the insanity. You have such a high, because people don't talk about this, right? People always say that, the subsidy of California or California's GDP, but they have the highest poverty rate, right? There are more poor people in California than there are poor people in other states. It's like,
right there with Florida and Louisiana and others with a supplemental poverty rate, which has been the case for 40 years.
how is it that you have such a high GDP, right? You have such a high GDP, but yet you also have the highest poverty rate? It really don't make sense. It really doesn't make sense to me. So you got to say that there's some shady ass shit going on, right? There's some shady stuff going on in California, which I definitely believe.
What's the issue in the California public school system, K through 12?
The main issue is that there is an epidemic of sexual abuse in the state. By teachers, by coaches, and by other school employees. It wasn't until 2012 you could actually file a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit, for damages as a victim of sexual abuse in California. And since then, our firm alone has filed dozens. Our firm alone has discovered over 350 or 360 perpetrators, teachers.
Wait, 350, 360,
And
just in California.
Correct. And we believe there's many, many more. We know there's many more because we certainly don't have all of the cases.
What?
Again, these are these blue states, right? These are these blue states. California is the biggest blue state, I believe. They're not. I mean, it's like this. I believe the problems of the state should be indicative of, the inadequacies of the leadership.
I can't stop thinking about how grass lawns are racist and based in white supremacy. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay, I guess. It seems really obvious. I can't stop thinking about how grass lawns are racist and based in white supremacy. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay, I guess. It seems really obvious. I can't.
No, it doesn't seem obvious. It seems stupid. Absolutely, utterly stupid. Again, more idiocy from the left. They are mentally ill. The left is filled with mentally ill people. I'm sorry. You don't make sense. And why don't they make sense? Is because they're forcibly, right? They're forcibly trying to push their ideology. There needs to be racism. There needs to be sexism. There needs to be homophobia. There needs to be transphobia, right? There need to be all these isms and phobias because it's a party that promotes victimhood. Okay? I guarantee you the Democratic Party wouldn't be as powerful as it is if they didn't have victims, right? To pad, right, their voter base. Why would black people vote for Democrats? What do Democrats do for them? Not really much, right? Nothing. No, I mean, you think the Democrats they invest in the black community. Yeah, well, Trump does that too, right? You're not doing anything special that any other leader's done. So really, is that much of a difference? Not really. And these things it shows you the insanity. Exactly. They will always create issues. They need to create issues, right? If you have issues, right, you have a basis because they need to create a villain, right? They need to feel they need to be victims. Okay? That's the thing. Here's what I'm talking about, what they're doing to our schools, right? And this is scary to me, right? This is scary. This shit is scary, okay? Because these are kids around my daughter's age. And these are mentally ill kids.
Hello, my name is Ace. I also go by Spade and Alex. A lot of people call me Marshmallow. I use any pronouns except for she, her, and I am the social media secretary of the Saline Middle School Gay Straight Alliance Club. This will be our first video, so we are doing a brief introduction of the membership. But other than that, have a good time.
Hi, I'm Jinx. I go by they, them pronouns, and I'm the vice president of GSA, and I am Cal's father.
Hi, my name is B. Pronouns they, them, and I'm GSA secretary. One little fact about myself is that I like public speaking.
Hello, my name is Asher Rohan, depending on where you know me from. My pronouns are they, them, and I am the club treasurer. Fact about me is that I'm an artist. I like to draw digitally, and yeah, that's it.
I'm Socks. I'm the 8th grade representative to GSA. I use she, they pronouns. And one interesting fact about me is that I was one of 3 federal characters in the play.
Hi, my name is Clover. My pronouns change often, but if you don't know, just say they them. I'm the 6th grade representative, and one fact about me is I love mom then.
The president did not want to be in this video, but their name is Cal, and they have purple black hair. If you want to. Bye.
Thank you, Rational Baz. Thank you, Rational. But this is a thing where I tried my best to keep my daughter away from this insanity. And this is a problem. Adults allow this shit. Adults allow this BS right here. Adults allow this BS. Parents allow this BS. School officials allow this BS. How can you be a club? What a actually ridiculous, stupid ass club. Okay? Your gender, you shouldn't be even caring about this because honestly, you shouldn't be thinking about sexuality, in my opinion, right? I hate this shit. You shouldn't really be thinking about sexuality. You're a woman, you're a boy, you're a girl, just be a boy or girl, right? Even if you are a tomboy, right? Even if you're a little bit feminine of a boy, okay, so what? Okay? But the problem is like, oh, you know what? I'm a trans, I'm a he, I'm a she, I'm a blah, blah, blah. It's like at these age, life is already confusing as is, right? During these ages, life is already confusing and life is going to get more confusing. And then you add on more confusing ass shit. This is the danger, right? These kids would not be thinking about this shit if parents, in my opinion, parents in their real life, grown-ups, adults in real life, in social media, didn't push these ideologies on these kids. These kids are impressionable, right? Kids are impressionable. And this is the problem with the left. This is the problem with liberals and Democrats. You are pushing your dangerous ideologies onto these kids. Okay? You are doing that. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Seeing a boy, right, thinking that he's a thinking that he's a she, it's like that shit, like, it saddens me because honestly, it's already tough being a boy, being a man. Now that it's like now that you're thinking that, oh, you know what, maybe I'm not a man, I'm a girl, I'm a woman. It's like you're going down a dangerous path, that is not good for you. Okay. And I've said this, I've said this on a live before, that I think this is the danger. Okay. We are creating a society where you are hating on men, right? You don't need no man. You don't want no man. Men are dangerous. Men are this, men are that. So now these young boys think that, you know what, it's better off to be a she, right? It's better off to be a girl, better off to be a woman, because you know what, the world hates me, right? Better off to be this, right? It's better off to be sensitive. It's just ridiculous. It's sad.
Entire class at a middle school identify as trans and non-binary. These are middle school kids. Instead of being taught math, English, social studies, these kids.
And that's the thing, okay? I already question our school's education. You saw those other videos, right? I already question how we're teaching our kids. Our kids are more more stupid than past generations. Our kids, even though they're more technologically advanced, they are more stupid than past generations, right? They are getting more stupid. So instead of pushing our kids to achieve higher educationally, we are trying to foster adults and faculties are trying to foster these kids to have liberal mindset, to not care much about education. This shit is actually evil.
I always wish that school prepared me to write a resume, how to get my taxes, things I really needed in my life. And I thought that would be implemented in future schools and education, but here we are. I'm going to be homeschooling my future kids.
Exactly, right? Instead of teaching our kids better, right? Instead of teaching our kids better, right? How about make a after school activity of, teaching kids about investing, about saving, about budgeting, right? About things that, are beneficial to their future. How about that? I mean, like, hell, I would have loved, in personal opinion, I would have loved a activity after school, try to improve, learn about improving your finances, saving your money, right? Budgeting. That would have been, I mean, kids probably wouldn't have liked it like that. I mean, but again, it's practical, right? We should be pushing these practicalities, right? We should be pushing the things that actually will improve our children's lives when they grow up. Thinking that you're non-binary or trans honestly does not improve our kids' lives. These are the group of people that have one of the highest level of depression. They have one of the highest mental illness. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are not children and women the most easily pressured? Isn't that evil to target them to damage society? 100%. I agree. 100% I agree. Children and women are easily impressionable, right? They're easily impressionable. When you lie, women will buy, right? When you lie, women will buy, and children are too stupid to really understand much, right? They're too stupid, too immature to understand a whole lot. So shit like this is disgusting, right? I believe it's just seeing things like this, it's more depressing than anything, right? I don't know.
We're not making nukes, and yet they attack us anyway.
They're not making nukes?
They're not.
Oh, interesting. So the actual government official in Iran, like his video, specifically said, of course we were making nukes.
Show me the video.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. While I pull that up, I'm a nuclear engineer, by the way. So I'd love to ask you, the over 400 kilograms of uranium that they had, they reached levels of, there were some levels that were up to close to 90% enrichment, but generally speaking, they had 60+% enrichment. Can you explain to me why they were at 60% plus enrichment levels? So you want to see it? I have it right here. Our real goal was to build a bomb. No point denying it. You mean the goal really was to make a bomb? Yes, 100%. If we could keep it secret and test the bomb, it would be over, just like Pakistan. Once we began, we had to finish it. That's an official speaker of the parliament.
We're not making nukes.
And they say that we, right? Say that we not making nukes. So are you part of the Iranian government? We're not making nukes. This is the problem I find with the left, right? This is the problem I find with the left. The left sides with people that are not Americans more than they side with Americans. Okay? The left, Democrats, liberals side with people that are not Americans more often than they do side with Americans. And yet, these are the group of people that won't even leave America. Yeah, the hypocrisy there is absolutely ridiculous to me. Absolutely stupid. I mean, like, you wouldn't even leave this country, yet you would wish death upon Americans, wish death upon America, destruction upon America, wish other people would harm Americans, right? Side with other countries, other nations over America. You people are disgusting to me.
Majority of illegal immigrants that are documented on record, the reason that they are documented as illegal is because they came in on visas that expired because their legal immigration court date was so far behind, because we have only 70 court immigrations in the entire country, and because they can't get a court date on time, their visas expire, and the second that they expire, then they are treated as legal immigrants.
I understand that it might be frustrating to come here with a legal visa and then not be able to get your court date and have to return. But that's the law.
But they can't travel.
Wait a second. No, they can go back to their own country. It's frustrating, right? I understand. I am sympathetic to the person that says, I want to come here, I want to be productive, right? And I want to become an American citizen, but it's difficult because there aren't enough court dates. Well, then you and I might be able to agree that, okay, well, we need to look at this from one of two perspectives. One might be, Okay, are we handing out too many visas if our court can't actually sustain it? Another one might be to say, okay, our court's overpacked in part because we have some people that overstay their visas, but then we have millions of other people crossing the border, and some of them illegal or some of them inappropriately claiming refugee status, and now we have to ascertain that before whether or not we can get to these other issues. So do we have an overtaxed court system in part because of a problem that's been created either through an open borders policy or allowing too many visas when we can't actually keep up with what the court requires? I might say maybe we need less visas. You might say maybe we need more courts. But see, that would be a rational conversation. But to say that anybody that overstayed their visa, well, now it's our fault. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You got to come under certain conditions. We're sorry that we couldn't actually meet those conditions within a particular time frame, and now you have to go. If you stay, you're breaking the law, and we can deport you as a result.
The majority of illegal immigrants that are documented on
No, it's not the majority, right? It's a significant portion, often cited as nearly 40% to roughly half. So not majority. I want to clear that out. Not majority. I would say this, right? Fine. I mean, like you said, rational argument, right? Make it into a rational argument or rational point of view. I don't disagree. But here's my thing. The stupidity or hypocrisy or insanity or delusion, whatever you want to call it, I find it that you don't see Democrats, right? You don't see Democrats or liberals pushing it or the left pushing it for reform of our immigration policy. You don't see that, okay? Obama never did it. Biden never did it, right? No Democratic leader reformed our immigration process, right? Our immigration policy. Heck, which is weird, right? I mean, I'm probably fine. I got to look it up. But I mean, you know, Biden deported a lot of people. Obama deported a lot of people. I got to look at the whole open policy thing, right? I mean, I've heard of that. I don't remember why he did it, but, you know, it is what it is. I got to look it up. I will, if I have the chance, I will look it up more. But I mean, again, if you care so much about illegal immigrants, right? Why have you not elected anyone, right? Why are you not campaigning or protesting or pushing any official to reform our immigration policy? I don't hear any Democratic politician, you know, run on the reformation of our illegal immigration policy or our immigration policy. I don't hear anyone, and I don't see anyone, any liberals or any left, actually pushing for that. Right? They're just saying, "Oh, stop deporting illegal immigrants." Are you stupid? No, right? But again, they're not pushing. Oh, let's reform it. No. Isn't it odd how they always do the opposite of what any sane person would do, all while wanting your tongue, your self-protection and money, battle as old as time? Yeah, they're weird. That's the thing where I'm sorry, right? I mean, like Rational said before, it's feelings over facts, right? Feelings over real shit. It's feelings over logic, okay? A lot of these people, they're just saying shit to say shit. They're saying shit just to be trendy. These people, right, only care about illegal immigration because it's another form of trying to fight back against Trump, right? I'm sorry. Maybe a bit of people cared about illegal immigration during Biden, during Obama, maybe a little bit, but not to the same degree, not to the same level. I believe hundreds of thousands, right, of liberals suddenly now care when pretty much before maybe a couple dozen, right? That's how I see it. Okay. I believe that it wasn't cared all that much during Biden and Obama, but now all of a sudden, right, during Trump, it's everywhere, right? It's so talked about. It's on news. It's on CNN. It's on MS, whatever. Right? It's all talked about. Oh, Trump's Gestapo, Trump, deporting illegal immigrants. These are not criminals and all that shit. Yeah. You didn't care about before, but now you do. It's always been those who believe in being free and letting others be free to those who can't allow that because it doesn't benefit them.
I am black. I am Filipino. Filipino Japanese, second generation. I'm a disabled trans man, but I'm also a Medicaid patient. A person who uses food stamps. I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country. A person who has gone through substance use and addiction. And most of all, I am a patient of Planned Parenthood. I am Black. I am Filipino Japanese, second generation. I'm a disabled trans man.
Okay, so before, right? Obama was weird, right? I mean, Biden was weird, and I think he did it because it was to hurt Trump. Okay, I mean, early administration in 2021 and 2023, upon taking office, Biden reversed several of the previous administration's stricter immigration policies, such as stopping border wall construction and narrowing enforcement priorities. Okay, so that's his open border policy. He wasn't enforcing any immigration, right? He wasn't enforcing it, restricting it, narrowing it, and all that shit. Only towards the end, right? 2024 shift. The 2024 order was characterized by some observers as a dramatic shift, mirroring some strategy of the previous administration to increase restriction due to political pressure and high border numbers. So Biden backtracked, right? He backtracked on his previous stupidity. So that's why all of a sudden he deported millions, right? He deported like over a million, right? Over a million immigrants because he backtracked it, because he let so many in. So you seen this video? I think this video is insane. It shows you the level of mentally ill, right?
But I'm also a Medicaid patient. A person who uses food stamps. I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country. A person who has gone through substance use and addiction. And most of all, I am a patient of Planned Parenthood.
Who's impregnating this thing? Who is in? I swear to God, men are desperate as shit.
I am Black. I am.
This person is Black. This, I'm assuming a she, is Black. This person, this woman says she's Black. Okay.
Filipino Japanese, second.
Filipino and Japanese. That really doesn't make sense. So where's the Black coming in? I mean, I'm assuming her skin tone is from her Filipino side. Are you just taking up the Black moniker just because you're darker skin? It's like, Rational. Thank you for stopping by, my brother. Thank you for the love. Thank you for stopping by. All right, I love you, my brother. All right, see you again later. All right. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please like the stream. Check out my other videos, and check out the live streams whenever you can.
Generation. I'm a disabled trans man, but I'm also a Medicaid patient.
Disabled trans man. It's like these saying, like, the liberals, the Democrats constantly show how delusional, how mentally ill they are. Okay. I'm sorry. Any party that accepts and support this mental instability is not a party that should be voted into power. Right? It's not a party that should be voted into power. It's not a party that, to be honest, I would trust, because you are promoting weakness in our country. Right? You're promoting mental instability in our country.
A person who uses food stamps. I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country.
I did, right? I was talking about this I think a couple of lives ago, right? Like over 40, yeah, like even Real Ren said, right? 42K. Right? It's disgusting. Feminism for you, right? The what is it? The sexual revolution? That's feminism for you.
A person who has gone through substance use and addiction.
DA, if I ever think about getting on a stage and saying any dumb stuff, yes, we'll be holding you to it. Right? We will be stopping you.
And most of all, I am a patient of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is the party that either supports or is filled with the mentally ill. It makes me not want to support you. It makes me like I'm glad I'm not a part of this party anymore.
So as a female, as a woman, I like to have my right to choose. I like to be able to decide what I want to do with my own body.
Do you think that a woman's right to choose should be absolute? She can do whatever she wants with her body.
I think, are we talking like just like anything or like abortion specifically?
In general. Do you think
in general, yes. I believe any person has the right to do what they would like to do with their body, man or woman.
What if with my body, what I want to do is walk into my bedroom, grab a Glock, and then shoot you? Do I have the right to do that?
Yeah, that's your choice.
So murder
That's
should not
your
be illegal.
choice.
So murder should not be illegal.
I didn't say that.
Well, you said that I should have the right to shoot you.
Yeah, but then you're gonna
go to jail.
You're gonna go to jail, but you have the right to do it.
I don't have the right to do it. I don't have the
But
right
you
to do
do.
it. No, I don't.
But you do.
No, I
You
don't.
can.
A right is an
Anybody can do it.
entitlement. I do not have an entitlement to shoot you. It's illegal for me to shoot you. I go to
Kind of
prison.
do. We have the right to bear arms.
Well, there's a difference between bearing arms and killing people. So I could go in my room right now and grab my gun and do whatever I want with it, but I can't shoot another person and kill them with it. I don't have a right to do that. It's illegal. I'm not entitled to kill other people. Therefore, we can both agree that people in general do not have absolute bodily autonomy. Autonomy is just control over your body. You cannot do with your body whatever you want. Like, for example, a man does not have the right to come find you and sexually assault you, right? That's not something he's allowed to do with his body. So we...
I agree. Let's be honest. Most liberal men go along with this because they want punani. They don't believe this crap, and the ones that do are just crazy. Couldn't agree more. 100%. I agree 100%. Absolute insanity.
Agree that there are limitations to what you can do with your body. I guess that when there is another person inside of your body, that person also deserves consideration and has rights.
So as a female,
I agree. This is why I said this is why I've said this in some of my debates, right? Some of my prompt lives is that I am pro-choice, right? But not pro-abortion, okay? Because it is just another way for women to shirk responsibility. It's just another way for women to shirk accountability. Now, I've said this, right? If women were just honest, okay? Stop saying, oh, you know what? It's just a compass sale. Stop saying all the BS that women say and just say that, you know what? I don't want to have a kid. I had sex with a man I don't want, or I had sex with a man that don't want me. Right? I'm killing a baby, right? I'm 100%. I am killing a baby. Okay. It's not a compass sales and all that BS that they say. If they are just blunt, if they're just honest about it, that, you know what, I don't want the responsibility. I'm trying to take away that responsibility. I'm trying to shirk the accountability. I don't want to suffer the accountability of my actions, right? I want to delete this baby. Okay. I'll respect you more if you're just actually honest. But a lot of people say, particularly women, they say all these stuff so they can make it seem less terrible, right? When you say that, oh, I want to delete my own baby, that's terrible. And the difference between it's like, oh, you know what? It's just a clump of cells, so it's not that bad, right? It's not a living thing or whatever, right? Saying all these things lessens the impact and makes them feel better about their actions. No, you shouldn't be feeling better about your actions. You should be honest about it. Just be blunt about it. That'll be different, right? And that's the problem I have with the left. I want to find one more video, and then we'll end out on the one video.
Velvet nights repeat the same. Every face a different name.
Time has dulled what once would burn. Still I ache for its return. Underneath this endless calm, something stirs. Something wrong. I lure into decay, but I'm not done this way. I need the fire back again. Something real to crave. I lure into decay, fading into gray. Touch the spark inside my veins. Make me feel the flame. Live too long, still pretend. Every thrill comes to an end. Silken shadows, empty air. No one left who truly dares. Heart beats slow, but still I wait. Balanced on the edge of fate. If you think you can ignite, step into my night.
Guys, all music, right? All music on Devil's Advocate is by Evil Eddie. By Evil Eddie. If you ever want to, check out his channels, right? Great music. Great music. All music on Devil's Advocate, Devil's Avocado, whatever I stream, right? All music is by this amazing man, right? So please check him out. Please check him out. All right. Let's end out on this, right? Let's end out on this. Let's end the stream out on this video. Myron, right? Doing the Charlie Kirk thing, going to colleges and debate with kids, debate with these these immature kids, right? So let's do this one and we'll end it out on this one, all right?
Will put you in danger. They're more likely to shoot. They're more likely to escalate because they don't have the physical strength to subdue a person. Something. So, that's another example. Military as well. What's up, man? The mic is.
Is it good now? Okay.
Yeah, but you got to talk real close to it though, because.
Yeah. I can hear now. All right. So last time you were here, I asked you about your sympathies for the Nazi Party. Would you mind elaborating on why you believe the Nazis are a good thing?
This is a thing where I will say this, right? I don't agree with Myron on the whole Jew thing. He has a lot of hate for Jewish people, right? But I can understand it, right? He's a Muslim, right? He's a Muslim, so I can understand why he has love for Palestine and hate for Israel. I get it, but that's his bias, right? That's his bias. That's his point of views. I don't agree with his views on the Jews, right? Because here's my thing, right? I don't know if it's true or not. You could argue if it's true or not, but he said, the Jews are in power. Okay, but you look at America how it is, okay? That's hypothetically, the Jews are in power. Well, what's the problem with America right now? I'm saying what? America is as great as it is. And if the case is that Jews have been in power and this is how it turned out, it is what it is. I'm not complaining about the amazingness of America. Now, I don't really believe that the Jews are in power. I believe it's a Christian state, right? I believe it's a Christian nation. So I don't really believe that the Jews are the ones that are in control. Now, they could be part of, the rich class. Laughing Man, what is up? What is up, my brother? Yeah, they could be part of it, right? I mean, if you're rich, you definitely have a voice in politics or the voice in our nation. But I wouldn't say they have the power.
Yeah, we can start this thing. Look, we'll do that at the end.
Does anyone else have a question, or would they like to hear the answer?
Well, we'll do it at the, because here's the thing: is we're streaming right now. I have no problem talking about this topic. we're streaming right now.
But
so
you have no problem
that's why.
addressing it. You should have no problem addressing it in public, right?
Well,
you've said it.
I've talked about it publicly a bunch of times. We're live on a bunch of different platforms that have user guidelines, which in itself should tell you kind of the world that we live in, where censorship is extremely heavy. So,
well, I mean, you're a free speech warrior, right?
I am absolutely, but we're on platforms that don't respect free speech, unfortunately.
So this
like
is all
YouTube,
about just
etc.
monetization, then, right?
No, actually, no. I'm demonetized for talking about this stuff. It's more about getting information out there. But
again, right? This is the thing. It's not necessarily about monetization. I believe this happening to me. I mean, whether it's true or not, you know, who knows? But these companies, right, don't really believe in free speech. They can ban you, shadow ban you, maybe decrease your algorithm, right? Don't push your stuff to people. It's not about, you know, whether you believe in free speech or not. It's that these companies do not believe in free speech. Okay. They believe in their guidelines, right? They believe in their guidelines. If you don't follow it, they won't push your content. Okay. So if you say certain things, they will shadow ban you. They will hide your content, right? They will not push your content along in the algorithm. Yeah, he's not a real Muslim, I guess. I don't know how, but that is, I think this is the thing where Myron is weird with this shit, right? He's not a real Muslim. His family's Muslim. He leans towards Muslim, but he doesn't practice Muslim, right? So he, you know, when it comes to religion, when it comes to Muslim shit, I definitely don't agree with Myron on that shit. Exactly. It's not a free speech platform. It's a money-making platform. I agree, right? It's not free speech platform. So, no, I believe in free speech, but I know that, again, they control our free speech, right? So it's not as free as you think.
like I said before, we'll definitely talk about it, but we literally just started the stream. Don't want to fucking get the thing canceled right now. So we'll have that discussion. I'm happy to have. We're here till 3, man. We're here till 3.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad you can get that bag, but just so everyone's aware, he will not, for the second time in a row, address the question of
We just started up the stream, dude, and we're on another guy's stuff. I'm not going to ruin someone else's platform, okay?
I mean, I'm really sorry for him, but like, you're not.
No, it's fine. We're here till 3. If you're so brave about it, come back. We got this discussion at the end.
Sure, man.
Because you always come in the middle of the stream. Like, come at the end and we can discuss that. No problem talking about it. No, you definitely did. You came in the middle last time as well. You did the same thing. You came in the middle last time as well. But we'll have that discussion. No problem. Never said I love him, but that's fine. You can mischaracterize my position. They lied. I'll tell you this. There's a lot of lies World War II for a bunch of different reasons.
100%. I agree. Muslims never even cross my mouth, right? Never even cross my tongue. And I don't know, like we may have a stream on it. I have more of a conspiracy theory on Muslims than there are Jews, right? I have a bigger conspiracy theory on Muslims. I believe Muslims are trying to take over the world, right? I don't believe, Jews are empowering this shit. No. I believe Muslims, right, are trying to take over the Western world. Before 9/11, no country in the West were dealing with Muslims, right? It wasn't even like, you may see the one time someone wearing a burqa, right? You may see it like sparingly, but after that, it's been a drastic shift where more every year, every decade, more and more, right? It's more Muslim shit, more people trying to come over and stuff like that. I believe, right? I believe Muslims are trying to take over the world. And I to be honest, like, as much as Myron hates, the Jews assimilate better than the Muslims, right? At least the Jews are quiet, right? They're quiet about their culture. They're quiet about their life, their religion. At least the Jews are quiet about it. Muslims, they're not, right? They're loud about it. Even their style of religion, right? They're loud about it. Praying wherever they want, right? Even out in public, even on the streets, even, I don't know, even if you're Uber driver, right? They'll pray right in front of you. They will inconvenience whatever if it means complying with their culture, with their religion. So, yeah. Definitely Laughing Man. We'll definitely talk about it, right? We'll definitely talk about it, because I think I have a bigger conspiracy theory about Muslims than how Myron feels about the Jews. I'm sorry, I feel the same about the Muslims, because I think that what I see, they're trying to ruin Western culture. Oh yeah, I'm definitely of that, right? We'll definitely do that. We'll definitely TBD, right? TBD wanted to talk about if you guys seen the kid, right? He comes on the Lego. He loves Lego, right? We'll definitely schedule it. TBD wants to talk about what's happened in the UK, and I think that's a perfect platform, perfect opportunity to talk about the Muslim conspiracy I have, because to be honest, the UK is suffering from it, right? Out of most Western countries in the world, UK is suffering from the most. So I definitely want to use that opportunity to talk about what's going on, right? I definitely believe. I don't know when I will do it, right? Maybe next week, maybe the week after, but we'll definitely do it, right? I'll set something up, right? Because I want to combine all that, right? The things that happen in UK, how I believe that Muslims are trying to take over the West. So I definitely want to talk about that.
That's not enough. Yeah, you're a pussy. You're a pussy. Well, no, come. What's up?
All right. So you said blacks or crooks. What that mean? Where that come from? What type of sense that make? Look at me.
So I don't want to live in a predominantly black neighborhood.
You see where I live at?
Yeah, it's mostly white people.
Yeah, hell yeah. But still.
So I think me and you agree on that one.
No, I don't mean blacks or crooks, though. It's black people here that's great people. I mean,
sure. But I don't want to live in a black majority neighborhood.
That don't mean they crooks.
The reason why is because it's high crime areas 9 out of 10 times.
Damn right. But you'll survive.
What was that?
You're dead right. In certain areas like Chicago or some shit, but it ain't in Chicago. Niggas ain't finna just shoot you for no reason out there.
You mean here? Or
yes, here in Columbia.
Yeah. But like, no, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be like.
Again, some people gotta understand, right? He's hyperbolic for social media content, but in general, right? That is true, right? Per capita, the crime rate in black communities are higher in other communities. Per capita, for the size of their population, for the size of their community, there's more crime in such a small size of a community, okay, comparative to such a big, the crime rate of, let's say, white people, right? White people make up about 50 to 60% of U.S. population. Although, yes, by numbers, they have a higher crime rate, okay? By numbers, white people have a higher crime rate, but it's by numbers, right? Because they already outnumber most people, right? They outnumber everyone because they have a higher population, okay? But when you count for per capita, right, for how many people are in that group, right, and how many people that commit crimes, it's not as big of comparatively, it's not as big, right, when you compare it to the black population, the black community. So
Black majority neighborhoods tend to be high crime, and I don't want to be there, and I know you don't want to be there either. That's why you're here, right? Because you're not at Howard for a reason, right? So
I just want to hear from I like USC.
Well, you're speaking, bro. You got to talk into my.
I like USC.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. It's good breakdown here. Ratio.
But like, whenever you say blacks or crooks, you gotta give a point and specific truth to it. Because you just said blacks or crooks, and high crime.
Yeah, they're a minority of the population, yet they commit a majority of the violent crime. Simple as that. Yeah. Like what, 13% of the population, and then the men are like about 6%, and then they're committing something like 50% of the violent crime.
That's also a result.
That's a problem.
That's also a result of where they are and what they're in and what the government do and how they feel. Because you got to think about the government system. They sit here in the hood and they think the only way out is to sell some drugs and shoot some guns, but that's not the truth. You can go to.
But here's my thing, right? By his victimhood mentality, other black people have proven differently, right? I know a black man. Right, is anecdotal, but I mean, this is a thing where it just proves that even though it's anecdotal, there are black people that focus on their education, focus on bettering themselves, right? Even in the same situations as other black people, single mother, in poverty, yet you could still achieve better, okay? If you don't fall right, for the victimhood mentality, if you don't fall for, the bad behavior, the bad culture of it, right? If you don't fall, you have to be stronger. You have to be stronger. You have to not fall for the propaganda or the mindset of the neighborhood. Okay. If you want to, you know what? It's like, we're poor. The government is doing this. So let me just sell drugs, right? Let me just, make baby mamas. Let me just be a baby mama. Let me just all this shit. Then you're literally choosing to be a statistics, right? You're not fighting against it. You're not trying to do something different. You're just fucking, you know what? I give up. I'm just going to take a step back and, be a criminal, right? I'm going to kill my brothers and sisters, right? I'm going to kill people who look like me. I'm going to rob, I'm going to murder people who look like me. And that's the problem, okay? One, it shows you that you don't even care about your community because, again, it's crime of proximity. These are black people killing other black people, right? You don't even care about your community. You don't even care about people of your own skin tone, right? You don't. It shows that black people don't, right? They say a lot of shit. They say that, Black Lives Matter, yet in their own community, it doesn't matter, right? It only matters if the white man is doing it. But the numbers of white people that murder black people isn't the same, isn't even close to the amount of black people killing other black people, right? Black people is, decreasing the population more than the white man's doing it, right? The white man doesn't even need to do it. Black people are doing it themselves with abortion and with crime. So it's ridiculous. And again, we can't just blame, oh, you know what? Because black people are in poverty-stricken neighborhood. Guess what? Hispanics are, Asian people are, right? Other minority groups are in the same communities as you. Same community. The poor does not care about skin tone, right? Poor neighborhoods don't care about skin tone. I've seen white people in poor neighborhoods. But again, it's not dwelling in the victim mindset and pushing yourself to be better. Why do, when Asian people immigrate to America, they live along with other minorities, right, in the poor neighborhoods, why do they do better than even white people? It's fucking mindset, right? It's mindset. That is that is something that, I'm sorry, the black community lack, right? As a community, that's what they lack. While Asian people as a community, they have that mindset. I'm going to focus on my family, focus on myself, focus on my future. And the black people that do think like that, they're the ones who succeed, right? They're the ones to get out of these neighborhoods.
Well, that just removes accountability. That just removes accountability.
DA, you ever heard or watched God Logic or David Wood, Sam Salmon? I kind of like them. Not that much. Great knowledge that they have, but okay, so I'll check them out. I don't listen to a whole lot of, maybe, I don't know if it's true, like religious, conversation. I'm not a religious person. I respect, right? I've said this before, right? Even though I'm not religious, I would rather live in a Christian nation than any other nation, right? I rather live in a Christian nation, even though I'm not religious at all, right? I could care less about religion. I'd rather live in a Christian nation than any other nation at all.
It's because there's less opportunity. Well, that's not an excuse. There's plenty of people that grow up poor that are able to make something themselves without being criminals.
It's people that can do it, but the fact that they have to fight, and instead of just being white and being born white and just come to school, come to USC and be.
Are you kidding me? Just to be born white? No, right? It's like this is the stupidity, right? Oh, you're born white. You do it. Guess what? Asian people aren't born white, and they are outpacing white people. Why the fuck is that? Right? What? It's like, stop it. Stop blaming shit on race. Stop it. I swear to God, black people think about race more than any other group. Black people think about race more than any other group. And they say, oh, we have to. No, you don't. You don't have to, right? You don't have to. But you're letting race shackle you, right? You're letting race shackle you to the weakness, right? because you are shackled to the weakness of racism, you will think that you will never succeed. I'm not white, so I won't succeed, right? I'm not white. I'm not the white man. So you know what? I'm going to have to stay in poverty. I'm going to have to be a criminal. I'm going to have to do drugs. I'm going to have to sell drugs. I'm going to have to do shit, stupid shit, degenerate shit, because I'm not white. That is the problem we're facing, right? Because you constantly think about white. You constantly, oh, because I'm not white, white this, white that. Stop it with that shit. Why are Asian people and even other immigrants, right? Indians, even Africans, right? Fucking Africans are doing better, right? Than the black community. They are I think the second oldest community, right? If not, right? They're I think the second largest, right? Black community has more political power, right? Listen, the black community has more political power than any other minority group. Yet they complain the most about inequality or oppression, all that shit. And yet, Asian people have almost zero political power. They're outdoing both the black community and the white community. Maybe it's the way you're thinking. Maybe this is the way you're going about it. You care so much about political power. You care so much about the white man. You care so little about your community, your people, yourself, your future. How about fucking wake up?
Great. You can't just do that as a nigga. It's not. I would argue that you have more opportunities as a black person as a white guy nowadays. No, that's the truth. Yeah.
You know that.
No, you know that. So I can talk about that. So here's the thing, bro. With DEI, affirmative action, etc., like we've absolutely made it where minorities and women have far more opportunities than white guys. That's the truth. So,
because they don't need no help. They got it already. They got it as soon as they was popped out.
Well, here's the thing. Look, if we're gonna go off of meritocracy, that's cool. But we don't go off meritocracy. We go off of we want to go ahead and fill quotas so that we can have a diverse workplace. And then what ends up happening is you have a bunch of people that aren't qualified for the job or not as good because we want to bring them in to diversify the workplace. I think that's a big problem.
I honestly think that's such a stupid mindset, right? If you look at statistics, there are more white people on welfare, on government assistance than there are black people, right? The black people are on it. There are more poor white people in America than there are poor black people, right? If you want to look at statistics, right? If you want to look at it logically, more poor white people than there are poor black people. By your logic, right? Because they're born white, there shouldn't be any poor white people, right? Why are there more poor white people than there are poor black people? When, you're born white, you should have the privilege, right? You should have the privilege of success. You're white in a white country. You should be millionaires. All white people should be millionaires, right? Because you're white. Just being white, right? Makes you a millionaire automatically. Once you're born, right? Once you're outside the womb, you're a millionaire automatically. That's how white works, right? That's how being white works. You see how stupid this mentality is? It keeps you shackled. You are a young black man, right? Young black man trying to succeed. And what you thinking that, you know what? Oh, you know what? I can't succeed because the white man, right? The white man will do shit, right? Stop that bullshit. Stop it. Stop being shackled to the victim. Because here's the thing. This mentality this boy has, okay? It will seep into the other young black boys. I'm not going to be able to succeed because I'm not white, right? I'm black, so I'm going to fail, right? Everything's going to be so hard. But how hard it was for this young black man to succeed, right? How hard did he have to work, right? Compared to white boy? How hard? Show me how much harder does a black boy has to do compared to a white boy? How much? Because here's the thing. Guess what? Asian boys, little Asian young adults, they work 20 times harder than the white boy, the black boy combined. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit how hard they have to work because the results matter, right? I don't care how hard I have to work, as long as I get the results I want. I don't give a shit if I have to work harder than the white man. I don't care, right? I don't care how easy life is for the white man because I'm not fucking him. I don't care. Care about your own fucking life. Care about your own life, your own community, your own family. Care about that. Stop caring about someone else's life. I'm sorry, you constantly focus on the white man's life. How's that improving your life? How's that bettering your life? The white man this, white man that. Yeah, you constantly think about the white man. Hell, you might as well get with him.
That's the women thing. That's not black people. Stay on the black people topic.
Yeah, a lot of black people are some bullshit. And they get into schools and they shouldn't be in there, but they end up coming in somehow because they get accepted with our test scores. They get accepted because of certain opportunities where they're like, oh, we need to accept this amount of kids into our school to fit this quota. So it waters down the entire environment.
But if they aren't qualified, they would fail.
What was that?
If they aren't
qualified, they would fail. Do you see what California just did? I just did the video, right? You saw what Californians do, right? If they weren't qualified, they would fail. Would they? Would they fail? Literally, you have states that are trying to pass kids on a point of 21, right? 21 points, right? What is that? That's an F, right? That's an F. Literally trying to change the system so you can pass people on an F. So if you have a mindset where you want to pass kids, even if they get an F, would you not be surprised that they would try to pass kids even if they're not qualified, right? Even if they're, even if they fail, you would think they would still try to pass kids or try to pass people. Yeah.
They will fail the course no matter if they get in or not. They get in with lower test scores. Yeah, they get in and fail if they aren't qualified.
But the point is they took that position from someone.
And they do. There are certain stats that I forgot which one, right? So you could double check for me. Certain stats have shown that, there's a higher dropout rate, right? There's a higher dropout rate for, black kids in certain colleges, right? There's a higher dropout rate for certain kids. Higher dropout rate, higher, failure rate for the black kids in certain schools.
Wouldn't have failed if they got in. So they get an opportunity they never deserved in the first place. That was my point. If they get in, they fail. They should have been there.
Yeah, exactly. They failed. They just ain't make it.
But they took. You don't understand. For them to get that spot, they displaced someone else that was qualified.
I'm talking about some small couple people that get in.
Oh, now small couple people.
I'm a person that got there for a reason. You feel me? So whenever you say that got there for a reason, it's a difference between somebody that just got there because they black. I got here because I did my job. I did my work. I ain't get here because I'm black. I ain't get here because I'm black. So they like, oh, black people can let the black nigga in.
Okay, so then if you got here based off your meritocracy, then you should be mad that they're allowing black people in that don't have the same merit, because that makes you look bad.
I'm mad that she's saying black people in general ain't got it like that. Like we don't want to cook.
But he's not representative of people in general. He's not representative of black people in general. He's not. It's like he brings himself in, but then he talks about black people in general. Are you representative of black people in general? You're not.
Okay, so look. This is that victim mindset again that black people tend to have.
Yeah.
If you grow up in a bad environment, right? You can't blame everybody else for growing up in a bad environment. You can overcome and make something of yourself. But it's no one's obligation to feel sorry for you or make concessions for you to be able to get in, or for them to lower their standards because you grew up in a bad neighborhood or you grew up poor. I grew up poor. I was able to figure it out, right? I grew up with brown skin. I grew up Muslim. I grew up with all the stereotypes against me, but I was able to figure it out, and I didn't let that stop me. So the problem is that people sit there and say, oh, I'm from the hood, blah, blah, blah. It's like that. You're limiting yourself.
Yeah, but they could be from the hood, and then their uncle is the goddamn big homie, their uncle OG. The OG, he gonna jump them in as soon as they turn 12. As soon as he hop off the porch, he born into this, bro. He gets stuck there. As soon as he hopped off the porch,
who chooses if he jumps off the porch?
Yeah, but he ain't got nowhere to go after that. Once he do, at 12 years old, hey, he already in the streets. He's stuck there forever. Now.
Okay, so let
they
me ask you this then.
Kill him if he's trying to leave.
Let me ask you this.
Right?
Do you think black people have agency?
What?
Do black people have agency?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Bro.
You gotta let me know what that is.
You said you don't know what that is. Yeah, you got the 4.0, bro. Like, come on, man.
4.2.
Yeah, you
4.2.
Bro, this is why college is a scam, bro. Hold on, wait. College is a scam. College is a scam, bro.
Do black people control themselves? Right? Do black people control their actions? Are there anyone controlling your actions? Okay. This is let's say this, right? I've said this countless times before. The world is unfair. Plain and simple. If you live by that model, life would be so much easier, right? If you live by that model, life will be so much easier because you're not stuck on anything, right? Life is unfair, right? If you're dealt a bad hand, you're dealt a bad hand. But at the end of the day, even if you're dealt a bad hand, it's what you do with that hand, right? It's how you use it. It's how you go maneuver it. Now, in the worst case possible, even if you try your best, you fail, well, I'm sorry. Life is unfair. It really is. It's unfair for everyone, right? I mean, the degrees might be different, right? Life is unfair for white people. Life is unfair for Asian, black, whatever, right? Some people succeed, some people don't, right? There are millionaires in the white group. There's millionaires in black groups. There are millionaires in so many other groups, right? Life is unfair for the genders, right? Life is unfair for everyone. Very. So that's something that we have to understand, that life isn't easy just because you want it to be easy. It's just not it.
So, look, we can't sit here and say, oh, they're going to hop off the porch on one side and be like, oh my God, we got to make all these concessions for them. And then on the other hand, be like, oh yeah, they don't have any agency. It's like, dude, you got to take accountability. It's either you're an adult and you make your own decisions, you got to live with those decisions, or not. We treat you like a second-class citizen. Last time I checked, I think MLK fought for equal rights, equal civil liberties, which means you got to deal with the responsibility that comes with that authority. What's up, man?
All right, so I believe you quoted the statistic. You said 13% of the population commits 50% of the violent crime, right?
Well, 30% of the population is black.
Right, so based off that, what conclusion would you come to based off that?
Well, you mean, sorry,
what's the conclusion that you come to based off that statistic?
A minority of the people are committing a majority of the violent crime.
Because why?
There's a multitude of different reasons.
Well, what do you believe the reason to be? You think it's
broken homes, the lack of a father figure in the household, bad culture, elevating, drug and hip hop / gang violence, and over going to school and being educated, a multitude of different reasons. It's very complex.
And because of that, you would say that, in general, you generalize that black people are crooks.
Guys, we got to turn up the mic for you guys because I can barely hear them. Let's turn up their mic. So, sorry, I'm struggling to hear what you guys are saying. So just speak up, please.
Based off that, you said that black people are crooks, right?
Yes, they tend to be, yes. Not all, but they tend to be.
So if we follow that same logic, do you know how many mass shootings there have been in the past, couple of 10 years?
How many mass shootings?
Yes.
Yeah, how many mass shootings?
It's about 3,000 or 4,000 since 2018, right?
Okay.
How many of those shootings have been perpetrated by trans people?
I know this year, or over the past 2 years, we've had 2 or 3.
It's
Nashville,
4. It's 4 since 2018, right?
It's 4? Okay. That's 4 too many.
Right. That would come out to about 0.1% of the population, right?
Sure.
Do you know how many people in America are trans?
How many?
About 1 or 2%.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage, yeah.
So
I've talked about this before, where I've said that people on the right wing tend to over inflate the trans problem, but I still do think it's a problem. And I do think that they shouldn't have guns, and I don't think they should have the ability to adopt children either. They're a minority for sure. I see what you're saying. You're like, look, they're a minority. Why do we care? Well, they just killed 2 kids yesterday, so that's a problem. And quite frankly, I think if we can go ahead and handle this problem right now while it's still a topic, they shouldn't have guns.
So based off the logic, though, you know who commits 97% of the mass shootings in America?
Who?
Straight men.
What's up?
Straight men. So based off that logic, would you say that straight men are more likely to commit a mass shooting than a trans person?
Well, straight men are also the majority of the cops, the majority of the firefighters, the majority of the guys that protect this country, the majority of guys that are in our armed forces.
97% though.
Yeah, but that's true. But the reality is that they're not mentally ill. If you're trans, definition, you're mentally ill. Something's wrong with you. Okay, versus being a straight man, that's natural. Not the same whatsoever. Not an equal comparison whatsoever.
My point is, though, you're trying to say that trans people are more dangerous and they shouldn't have guns whenever they,
yes,
per capita, commit.
But this is a thing where being straight, right? Being a straight man is not just, you're just naturally dangerous, because being a straight man is a normal thing. Being a trans whatever, right? A transformer is not a natural thing. You already start out as mentally unwell. So to say that, you know what, I want the mentally ill not to own guns is not a stupid idea, right? It's not a stupid idea, right? Because these people are already mentally ill. So to say that, you know what, I think the mentally ill shouldn't have guns, it's not a crazy idea. Okay. But to say that, oh, I think straight men should not have guns, that is absolutely idiotic. Absolutely idiotic, because the majority of, like half of the population is straight men. Half of the population is straight men. So really, what the hell are you trying to do? Right? You want to alienate half of the men because you want to support 1% of the population? Absolutely stupid.
Less mass shootings than straight men, which is a per capita stat that you brought to earlier, saying that's why black people are crooks, is because 13% of them commit 50% of the violent crimes, right? So
Yes.
why can't you apply that same logic to straight men?
Because again, being straight is natural. It's the way that we've been able to create this beautiful society we have now was created by straight men, right? Trans people are inherently sick. Something is wrong with them. If you cannot sit there and identify the fact that you don't know what your gender is, well, life is a lot harder than figuring that out, which path are you going to go to? So these are people that aren't mentally assimilable to the society. They need to be, kind of kept out from certain privileges, such as having a gun.
Even though they
and to compare them to straight men is absolutely ridiculous.
Even though they commit less shootings than other groups.
And not only that, also keep in mind that 60% of trans have mental issues. 60% of them, and that's just the people that decide to actually go ahead and go see a psychiatrist. We haven't even figured out the people that don't go see a psychiatrist.
Right.
So a majority of them are already mentally ill. That disqualifies them off rip.
I don't think you're addressing my point about.
I'm definitely addressing your point. You're trying to compare trans people to straight people.
I'm comparing the numbers.
What's that?
I'm comparing the numbers.
Yeah, but the numbers need to be stemmed from somewhere. And if we're going to compare the numbers, we need to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. You're comparing straight heterosexual men that built the world up to where we see now, so that you can enjoy a lot of the benefits you have, like the headphones on your head, the shirt you're wearing, the buildings that we see here, to trans people that don't contribute anything to society besides mental illness, us having to call them she when it's really a he, and a bunch of other problems. They don't really contribute to society the same way that straight men do. So they're not the same whatsoever.
In that case, though, then the point you're coming to isn't based off any numbers or facts. It's based off the fact that you just don't like trans people.
Well, we need to have some type of nuance here and understand what we're comparing and be honest here. If we're just going to go straight off numbers and not identify apples to apples, then it's not going to make sense.
I am identifying apples as people who identify, because you believe being trans is a choice, correct?
What's that?
Do you believe being trans is a choice?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think being straight is a choice?
What's that?
You think being straight is a choice?
No. I think, being straight is a choice or being gay is a choice?
Being straight.
Yeah, that's the natural way that it's supposed to be.
So everybody else who's outside of that, they're making a choice to do something else, right?
They're making a choice to be straight. Yes, they're making a straight. Yeah, to be a degenerate.
So my point is, though, people who identify, who are straight, who are men, right?
Yep.
They commit an over amount.
But what is the purpose, right? What's the purpose of your ideology? Because here's the thing where, what do you say? 12,000 mass shootings? Okay. But guess how many straight men are in America? I believe it's like over 300 million. I believe it's like around 300 million straight men. So again, it's the insanity of it. Okay. What do you want to do? Alienate 300 million straight men because of your delusion? Again, it's a different thing, but we also talk about the Transformers are mentally ill off the bat. They are mentally ill at the starting point. Okay. If you think you're a Transformer, you are mentally ill already. Already you are absolutely psycho. So why should you have a gun? Yeah. Who you decide to have sex with is a choice, right? I agree. But there's a part of let me say this, right? There's a part of we have to understand biology or natural order. I believe that it is a natural order to be straight, right? Because let's say, because you got to look at common sense. If it wasn't natural to be straight, then 100% of people, right? 100% of people, or at least the majority of people, 60-80% of people would be all over the place with their gender, right? Majority of people. If being straight wasn't natural, majority of people would be all over the place with their gender. But majority of people are straight, right? It's only the minority that isn't. So that has to tell you that, to be honest, you are abnormal. You are an offshoot. You are, being different.
Of the mass shootings. I don't think that straight men are more likely to commit mass shootings, but the numbers state that if you're trans, you have a lower chance of committing a mass shooting because they're 1% of the population and only commit 0.01 or 0.1% of the mass shootings.
Again, it's great. Like they're like, see, the only numbers. The only thing that you're saying, it's very simple, bro. It's very simple. It's very simple. Straight men created the society. Okay, numbers. A lot of the no, it's not about the numbers. It's about, if you're gonna go ahead and compare the numbers, you got to compare the numbers where it makes sense. Okay, comparing straight men to trans men, when trans men don't contribute to society to the same degree that straight men do. See, this is how crazy it is, right? We live in this world, right? We live in this world where people forget how society was built. We've civilized the world so much that we've forgotten how we got here in the first place. We forgot that this country was built upon the backs of heterosexual men that had a family to go back to. So it went ahead and spurred ingenuity to go ahead and create a society. To compare trans is be like, well, straight guys do X, Y, Z. Also, straight guys are the majority. There's more straight guys than there are trans people. Right, and trans people don't contribute to society, so they're not going to get the same level of, I'm not going to give them the same level of, oh yeah, let's go ahead and accept this bad behavior from them when they're a minority and they only create problems. Okay?
Straight men make up over 40% of the population, yet commit 97% of the mass shootings.
Again, but they also protect society. They also contribute to society. They're also the working force. They're also paying taxes. They're also doing all these
so
other
that's
things.
Okay that they're allowed to commit double the mass shootings is what you're saying.
Well, if they're significantly more, then it only would make sense that they would commit more of the crimes if they do, but you're offsetting all the other positives that they're doing as well.
I think everybody has something to offer. That's not my point. My point is,
what I'm saying is that trans don't offer. That's the problem. So that's why a lot of their
issues that they bring. That's because you just don't like trans people.
No, it's not that I don't like them. I think that they need to be put in a certain position.
What are trans people offering? What are they offering to society? What are trans people actually offering to society? How are they? How is being a transformer beneficial to society? How? You're already mentally ill. We should not be supporting the mentally ill. Again, you are crazy, right? I don't believe anyone is crazy is beneficial to society. So no, you're not beneficial to society at all.
Where they don't have certain accesses to certain things that can create problems for the rest of society, whether it's having guns, which I think is problematic in itself. I don't think felons should have guns either. I don't think illegal aliens should have guns. I don't think people that renounce their citizenship, people that got a dishonorable discharge, I think we need to put them in that category alongside all those other individuals.
Based off the fact that you just don't like them, though.
No, I don't like the fact that they have guns and that they're not mentally stable. That's what I don't like.
But
they can exist, and I have a problem with them existing, whatever. But if you're going to go ahead and be mentally ill, you don't get the same privileges and rights as people that are sane. As simple as that. Just like the other people, like that's by your logic. Oh yeah, you hate felons, you hate everybody else. I don't hate them. I just think that we need to have restrictions on certain people to protect the mass society. I think that how people feel,
you think being
right,
trans
what's real are two different things. What's that?
You think being trans should be a crime?
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be a crime, but I don't.
But it should be categorized as a mental illness. Right? I believe I forgot, like the mental illness committee or whatever group, they didn't categorize trans as a mental illness. I believe maybe I'm wrong, but I definitely think it should be categorized as a mental illness. Being trans should be categorized as a mental illness.
That they should necessarily be lumping them in with just criminals. What was that?
You're just lumping them in with criminals. People
No,
are
they're mentally ill.
dishonorably
They're
discharged,
mentally ill,
felons,
and that under federal statute,
non-citizens in America. You're just lumping them in with criticals and equating it to essentially
they're mentally ill.
Mentally ill. People
They're
can't
mentally
have,
ill.
Can't have guns. People with anxiety can have guns.
No, people that are mentally ill cannot have guns. Actually,
some can. Yes.
No, you cannot. If you had, it's literally. Yes, go ahead, look it up. 18 USC 922. Look it up. There's people that have mental issues or have been committed to a mental institution cannot have guns.
Well, hold on. But what kind of mental?
No, not everyone can buy a gun.
Because I see your sign that says put mental transgenders in an asylum.
Yes.
You're putting the cart before the horse right now. You're saying that anybody who was put in a mental asylum shouldn't be able to have a gun because that's the law. But you're saying that transgenders should be put in an asylum and therefore they shouldn't have guns. So you're basing your argument off something that isn't even based in reality.
Yeah, put them in asylums and don't let them have guns. There you go. Bam. Who's up next?
Thank you.
Alright. So, Mr. Myron, I would like to say that I do not represent the DOD in any way, shape, or form, but I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So earlier you had said that women shouldn't serve in the military, law enforcement, and whatever else bullshit you said.
They should not be.
No, let me talk. Okay.
Well, if you're going to go, because here's the thing, you're going to make your entire argument mischaracterizing a position, right?
No. You also said that blacks were crooks. Then you also rebutted and also said that there's a majority of different reasons why. So one main factor you said is because the father wasn't in the household. Okay, I grew up with a single mother and my dad wasn't in the household, but that's also because what happened? The political parties and the government took the black.
So you're saying that the government took your father out of your home? I mean, I don't disagree that the welfare state is, contributing to that fact. But again, where's the accountability? Your mother, right, chose a shitty man, right? Your mother chose a shitty man. Now she relies on the welfare state. Again, no accountability, right? No one disagree. A lot of people in the red sphere or the manosphere, yeah, they agree that, the welfare state is a problem, right? The welfare system is a problem. It contributes to, women being fine, but it shows you that the problem is that women are fine with giving children to shitty men without requiring marriages. So it's all still about accountability, right? It's still about your actions, right? It's about your actions. It's not about, you can blame, again, yes, you can blame shit on the government. You can blame shit on the white man, but at the end of the day, it's still accountability, right? It doesn't matter if you're born in a poor neighborhood. It's what you do about it, right? It's what you do. Are you going to study? Are you going to study that math book? Are you going to study that English book? Are you going to study that history book? Are you going to study, right? What are you going to do? Doesn't matter if you're born in a poor neighborhood. Doesn't matter if you are single, if you are living under a single mother household. What are you going to do, right? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you do nothing and then you blame everyone else, the only thing important is that you did nothing.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No. So do you want to do the military thing first, or do you want to go into, because these are two completely different topics?
You can talk now. Go ahead.
Okay. So my position when it comes to the military and it comes to law enforcement is, I don't think women should be in positions where, in military combat or with being a police officer, like in patrol, where they're going to be likely to be hands-on. If they want to be in a support position, I can maybe have a discussion there. But if they're going to be in a position where they're going to get hands-on with someone, I think that's problematic and creates issues for everyone involved in that shift, in that encounter. And then with the military, same thing. I don't think they should be in combat positions because, unfortunately, women are inferior to men physically, and that creates problems. You're only as strong as your weakest point.
Why does it matter when the person next to you is going to be saving your life? If you're in battle and there was a woman, would you refuse the treatment from the woman?
It's not that I refuse the treatment. I prefer to be a man.
Why would you prefer to be a man?
Because let's say I get shot. I'm 200 pounds. Is she going to be able to drag me to safety the same level? No.
There will be women that can. I promise you. There's one in the U.S. military right now, and I know for a fact that will be able to drag you. There's one in the U.S. military right now that score above men on HCFT right now.
Yeah. The minority.
There's women on campus right now that score above men on the HCFT right now.
Look, bro. Look.
Do you want names?
I get
Do
it.
you want names?
I get it. Like,
You're saying put transgenders in asylums, but transgenders serving the U.S. military right now, and they're
That's a problem too. They're mentally ill.
If not better,
They're mentally
than you as a piece of shit right now.
Look at this guy. Look, I get it, bro. You're trying to get laid, and some of these girls you think are gonna fuck you after this. But the reality is, like, same for the girls. And look, man, you can take the cape off, bro. Like, if I know you want to get some of these girls to fuck you after, but they're probably not. So this is the reality, okay?
This is about basic human respect, and you can get through your mind.
No. It's about here's the reality, bro. Look, you gotta, calm down and make arguments off of facts and not feelings. The reality is, women are physically inferior to men in almost every way. Less lung capacity, less muscle density, less strength, bone density is not the same. Women are just inferior to men in every way. I don't think that it's appropriate for women to be in combat zones where if I get shot and I need to get dropped.
And again, right? A lot of these liberals, a lot of these college students don't understand generality. Is there going to be a woman that's stronger than a man in a certain situation? Probably, yeah. I mean, is there a woman that's stronger than me? Most definitely. But it's comparatively, right? Comparatively. A military woman, right? Is a military woman going to be stronger than a military man of her, let's say, same weight, all that shit? No. Statistically, no, right? She would not be stronger than a man of her even equal weight, right? But statistically, usually it's not a man that's equal to her, right? Most men are taller than women. They weigh more than women. So really, you're going to have to go down a level to find a man that's even equal to her in height and weight, okay? So statistically, in general, it is different. Okay. Yeah. Can you find the offshoot, right? The exceptions? Of course. There's always exceptions. But the problem is we talk in generality, right? So it's the majority. It's the majority of the time. And majority of the time, yeah, it's true. Women don't strength men. That's 100% fact.
She will not be able to drag me. Now we're going to have her and maybe another person to come drag me and put two people on a job that could have just been one. That's a problem. This is just the reality. Now, ask anyone that works in law enforcement or in military, and they'll admit that they're not going to get recorded or whatever. They'll admit to you, I prefer to have a guy in backup. I came from law enforcement myself. Whenever we had women going into the house or whatever, they'd blunder, they'd make mistakes. They're not as refined as men. They don't have the same finesse, etc. So I would always put them on the perimeter. I'm just telling you what it is, bro. Anyone from the professional experience will tell you this. It creates a liability for everyone else involved. So why do we got to go ahead and weaken the entire unit because we want to make women feel better or trans feel better? These people are mentally ill. They shouldn't have a gun anyway in the first place. And we shouldn't have women in these positions either. Have strong, able-bodied men. And let's be honest here, too. If any of you guys call 911, right, and you're literally on the verge of dying, or you're trying to get pulled out of a fucking house that's on fire, and you see two women show up, you're going to be pissed, okay? You want two fucking guys to show up that are going to the gym that can fucking carry your ass out there. I know that for a fact. If you see two women show up, fucking Shaniqua and Laquina, that don't go to the gym and shit, stomach hanging out, oh, we gonna save you. We gonna save you. Come here, baby. And then they can't even drag your ass out the house because black women don't go to the gym. Cook. You're dead. You're fucking dead. And I'm saying what everyone here is thinking. That's why people are laughing. This is the truth. No one wants two women to show up at the worst time of their life. When you call 911 and your life is on the line, you want two people to come in and literally get you out of the worst moment of your life. Bro, if I see Laquina and Shaquina show up, I'm done. Just kill me. It's over.
So you feel that women aren't as equally as capable as men?
They're not. Women are physically inferior to men in every way.
So if you were to raise a woman right now, any woman that I accuse, you
would... Oh, God. Stop. He's doing anecdotal, right? If you want to do race, look at the fastest woman, right, compared to the fastest man. I believe it's a drastic difference, right? You could even look at like what trans women are doing in women's sports. And a lot of these sports that do have trans women, they're a lot of times they're out competing actual women.
If you would take a physical test against a woman right now, you will beat them.
Bro, I'm talking to generalities here. In general, men are better than women at almost everything, okay? Physically.
But you're clearly not if you're saying put transgenders in asylum. Like, why? Like, why can't you just love everybody?
Look, man, like I said, I think...
Let's end it with that. Why can't you just love everybody? That's stupid, right? That is absolutely stupid. Do you love the pedos? Oh, those are bad, right? Do you love the murderers? Oh, those are bad, right? Right? That's bad. Do these people love Republicans? I don't think so. Do they love Trump? They don't. This is the hypocrisy, right, of these types of people. Oh, love everyone, love everyone. I literally have videos, right, of the left, liberals, Democrats calling a black ICE agent the N-word. That's love. I literally have liberals, right? Liberal protesters, beating down on a woman reporter. That's love, right? That's love. Literally, a liberal killed Charlie Kirk. That's love, right? Love. So much love from the left. So much love from liberals. These college students are idiotic, right? This is why Charlie Kirk did it. This is why Myron is doing it, right? You talk to these college students, not necessarily to change their mind, but hopefully to show you that these college students are getting a poor education. They're idiots, right? Love everybody. Such a utopian mindset, but it's idiotic, right? You will not love everybody. And these people show it every day. I guarantee you could ask every one of them, do they love Trump? Do they? Every one of these people is like, I love everyone. Okay. Do you love Trump? If you can't even love that man, it literally just debunked your whole ideology. Love everybody. So I think that's idiotic. Guys, that's it for tonight. That is it for tonight. I love you guys. Laughing Man, thank you for being here. Evil Eddie, Rational is here. Real Rain, I love you, my brother. Red Door, my sister, I love you. I love you. Guys, you guys are amazing, right? Thank you for the love. Thank you for checking out the stream. Thank you for all the support you guys give me. You guys are amazing. I love you guys, right? So hopefully you guys have a good rest of your night. Please check out my other videos. Please comment, please subscribe, please like. But yeah, I love you guys, right? Later, guys. Have a good night. Later.